was with my boyfriend. I was a passenger in a beautiful brand new F-150 truck. The road is washed out and the tire got stuck, and instead of being able to correct and get us back on the road, it basically just slingshotted us into the side of the mountain. I very plainly told the paramedics, my right ear is ringing. I know I was hit by the airbag. I have a history of concussions. At that point, I had had 5.
What would cause, why? How do you have 5 concussions?
I live in a big world, right? The world is designed for big people, and I have a big personality. Growing up, I played basketball.
5'1" with her shoes on. She would go in for rebounds, try and take charges, and the majority of people she was playing against were obviously much bigger than her.
Throwing my tiny little body into a competitive sport.
We did the best that we could with what we knew then, and the effect of taking an elbow to the head. The way concussions are treated today is very different, more proactive. There's more concussion specialists.
I have been in concussion protocol in the sense where they're like, remember brown dog, blue house, something, something, something. In this instance, I was like cool, calm, collected. I told them my ear's ringing, but I feel fine. The paramedics informed me that they thought I was in shock and I should expect or could expect an onset of symptoms in maybe 24 to 48 hours. I went about my life. I was sitting at my desk and all of a sudden I just had this very distinct pain down the middle of my face. Like all of a sudden my vision was really strained. Something's really wrong. That was the last day that I was in the office.
Alexus couldn't drive, and she had appointments initially like 3 times a week. I could drive down, take her to her appointments, and be at her appointments with her, drive her home afterward, putting her to bed.
Initially, the vestibular exercises made me really sick. I didn't want to do them. I realized that 1 hour a week in this person's office wasn't going to bring me back to life. I had to commit to wanting to live my life again, and that meant doing the things that I didn't want to do. I got real dedicated to those exercises and to beginning to advocate for myself in the process, and learned that your care team can only give you as much as you give them. So it's my job to communicate with them what's working, what's not working. It's my job to do the homework if I really do want to get back to living life, because no one can do it for me. Moving to Arizona was like a clean slate, was starting a new job with a new company. Once I had moved here, the universe gave me another reminder of what it's like to be humbled by your health, and I had a huge symptom regression. And then I just didn't get better. I was not prepared. I hadn't really established like a care team out here because I just kept waiting for it to go away. Like I was waiting for it to heal, but then when it's your body that just stops and you don't understand why it's not doing what you're used to being able to tell it to do, and all of a sudden there's just this massive pushback. My therapist put it in perspective for me that I was no longer dealing with an acute incident. Like I had crossed over that line into something that was chronic. I'm not gonna go back to my old self anymore. And that framework was a big pill to swallow. I've never experienced a low lower than that.
I did the research to find the Brain Injury Alliance of Arizona and gave Alexus that information. She found a support group from them.
I had a support system that could stay positive for me when I couldn't stay positive myself. And I also had accepting this new version of myself. That was, let me say, that still is something that I get to have a conversation with myself about every day. This is not going to beat me. I'm not going to let this be the definition of what the rest of my life is. I'm not going to let this reduce me to something that I cannot make the best of.
Lessons that she's learned through this, if she can share those with others to make their journey easier, that's what she's all about.
I have come from not being able to get out of bed and open the blinds in my room because it was too bright. And in a year, of being committed to deciding that I wasn't going to let that be my life, getting my quality of life back.